Years of waiting alone. Then one human changed everything. The dust settled slowly across the abandoned mining outpost, each grain catching the amber light of the distant sun. Zira sat cross-legged in the shadow of a broken crane, her blue skin dulled by years of accumulated grime. She traced patterns in the sand with one slender finger, the same patterns she'd drawn 1,000 times before. Circles within circles. Spirals leading nowhere. 347 days. That's how long it had been since the last ship departed, leaving her behind. Not intentionally, they'd said. A clerical error. Her name had been omitted from the evacuation manifest when the mining company declared the asteroid belt unprofitable. They'd promised to send a retrieval vessel within weeks. The weeks had become months. The months had become nearly a year. Zira's species, the Velani, were a patient people by nature. Their homeworld orbited a dim star, where seasons lasted decades and nothing happened quickly. But even Velani patience had limits, and Zira had reached hers 6 months ago. Now she existed in a strange limbo between hope and resignation, keeping herself alive out of habit more than desire. The outpost's automated systems still functioned, providing breathable air, recycled water, and protein paste that tasted like regret. Solar panels collected enough energy to power the essential systems, though the heating units had failed 3 months back. Zira had learned to sleep during the warmest part of the day cycle and stay active when the temperature dropped to near freezing. She spent her waking hours wandering the empty corridors, talking to herself just to hear a voice. She'd named the maintenance robots. She'd memorized every crack in every wall. She'd read the entire digital library 7 times, including the technical manuals for equipment she'd never operate. On day 348, something changed. Zira was in the observation dome, watching meteors streak past in the distance, when the proximity alarm chirped. Her hearts, both of them, seized in her chest. She'd heard that sound in her dreams so many times that she initially dismissed it as another cruel trick of her isolation-addled mind. But the alarm continued. The display panel flickered to life, showing a vessel approaching. Not a Velani ship. Not a collective transport. The silhouette was wrong, the engine's signature unfamiliar. Human. Zira had never met a human. They were newcomers to the galactic community, barely a century past their first faster-than-light experiment. The collective regarded them with amused tolerance, like watching talented children who hadn't yet learned their limitations. They were emotional, impulsive, startlingly creative, and possessed an inexplicable tendency to adopt damaged creatures as pets. The ship settled onto the landing pad with more grace than Zira expected. It was small, clearly designed for a single occupant or a tiny crew. The hull was decorated with painted flames and something written in human script. The airlock hissed open. A human emerged, pressure suit decorated with an absurd number of patches and pins. The helmet came off, revealing a weathered face, dark eyes, and hair that stuck up in all directions. The human scanned the area, spotted Zira standing in the dome's doorway, and broke into a massive grin. "Holy hell," the human said, jogging over. "There actually is someone here. I'm Marcus Chen. Are you all right?" Zira's translator took a moment to parse the rapid-fire speech pattern. "I am alive," she managed, her voice cracking from disuse. "How did you find me?" Marcus pulled off his gloves and offered a hand, which Zira stared at uncertainly before realizing it was a greeting gesture. She placed her slender, 4-finger hand in his, and he shook it enthusiastically. "I'm a salvager," he explained, leading her back toward a ship. "I pick through abandoned stations, mining outposts, derelict ships, looking for tech, resources, anything valuable. This place wasn't on any active charts, but I caught the power signature from 3 sectors away. Figured I'd investigate. Never expected to find anyone living here. How long have you been alone? 347 days, Zira whispered. Marcus stopped walking. Almost a year? Jesus. Okay, new plan. I'm taking you somewhere with people, proper food, and working heat exchangers. You're shivering. I do not wish to be an inconvenience. You're not. You're a person who needs help. He studied her face, and Zira saw something in his expression she'd almost forgotten. Genuine concern. When's the last time you ate something that wasn't protein paste? She couldn't remember. The next hours passed in a blur. Marcus insisted on making her a proper meal, using his ship's small but well-stocked galley. He produced something he called chicken soup, which tasted like comfort in liquid form. He gave her clean clothes that smelled of soap and something spicy. He asked questions about her preferences. Did she want music playing? Was the temperature comfortable? Did she need anything? Nobody had asked Zira what she wanted in almost a year. While the ship's autopilot calculated a route to the nearest station, Marcus listened to her story. He didn't interrupt, didn't offer empty platitudes. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. My sister got lost once, he finally said. Went hiking, took a wrong turn. Search teams looked for 3 days. When they found her, she'd built herself a shelter, rationed her supplies, kept herself alive through sheer stubbornness. Everyone kept saying how brave she was. You know what she told me? She said she wasn't brave. She was just too angry to quit. Zira felt her eyes dampen. Velani didn't cry often, but the tears came anyway. It's okay to be angry, Marcus continued softly. They abandoned you. Accident or not, they failed you. You survived something that should have broken you. That matters. Why? Zira asked. Why does it matter to you? You don't know me. Salvaging this outpost would have been profitable. Marcus leaned back in his chair, considering. You know what humans are famous for? We don't leave people behind. It's not always true. We've got our share of cowards and bastards. But the idea of it, the principle? That's core to who we are. We're pack animals. We take care of our own. I'm not human. You're a person. That's close enough. The station Marcus chose was a bustling trade hub operated by a dozen different species. He helped Zira contact the Velani embassy, filed reports with the collective authorities, and made sure she had accommodations and credits. Before leaving, he pressed a small device into her hand. Communicator, he said. Direct line to my ship. If you need anything, or if you just want to talk, call me. I'm serious. Zira looked at the device, then at Marcus. Why would you do this? All of this. He smiled, that same easy grin from when they'd first met. Because you waited 347 days for someone to show up. I'm just glad I was the one who did. As his ship lifted off, disappearing into the star-strewn black, Zira felt something she hadn't experienced in nearly a year. Not just hope. Purpose. She had survived. And now, with one human's unexpected kindness, she could finally start living again. The circles had found their center. The spiral had found its path forward. Everything had changed.